Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am here to give you the second to last movie review of the week. I have one more to do of the week to do tomorrow, and I will get that done. Um, and I was originally going to make this video a couple hours ago. However, I'm having a little bit of computer issues. The volume's not working on my laptop for some reason. I've done everything I could, so I have no clue why it wouldn't be working. So I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. Um, but as you can tell from the bottom, I am here to review the movie Little Man. Um, and yeah, this movie came out on July 14th, 2006. There's really not, I have nothing else to really say. Normally I talk about like the title and stuff, but I did watch this movie with one of my friends at first, and then it came on Netflix. That's all I can really say. So, this movie's really funny though, and you're gonna hear more about it. So starts out with this in prison, and we see this guy that's a prisoner, and we find out his name is Calvin. I don't know what his last name is. Calvin Sims. Um, and he's built up like this big strong guy, and he's doing pull-ups, and he doesn't know how to count. He can count to three, but he can't count past three. So he's having the prisoner do it for him. So Calvin is allowed to go home now, and he does. So then what else? So he's walking out like he's all tough. It even showed like a shadow of like a big of how big of a dude this guy is, and he's small. He has dwarfism. Um, and I thought that was just hilarious. I knew it was gonna be little because that's the whole point of the movie, but I liked how they made him look like he was a big guy when he really wasn't. And one of his friend Percy P, I think is Percy P, um, pops up, starts by the prison to pick him up, and he can't, and he's like, "This is my man Calvin getting out of prison today." So when he opens the door, he hits him right in the face. That was hilarious. Um, and immediately they're gonna already get into trouble. They're gonna go. They were hired by Waken or Mr. W um, to get a to steal a diamond from a jewelry store, and they're gonna get paid a lot of money. And Percy says it's gonna help him because he wants to be like a rapper, and he even plays one of his raps that's exactly like 50 Cent. And then he even says, "Nah, 50 Cent talks about candy. I talk about me." Um, and so then Calvin's like, "You're better off just leaving that in the and leaving that money under your mattress." So then he says, "Well, what about you? I bet you're just gonna waste your money off booze and cheap hookers." And he's like, "So?" Well, then he's telling him, "You have to finally get a woman you're gonna fall in love with." And then he's like, "Nope, I never have loved, and I don't ever plan on it." He's like, "Yeah, because you're so small." And then Calvin just bitch slaps the dog shit out of Percy. It was actually pretty funny. So then it cuts to this other couple, and we find out the guy's name is Dale um, Edwards, and his and he meets his wife. He's there meeting his wife. He paid to have this guy play like accordion music, and it's like an electric accordion though. And he meets his wife Vanessa. She has like great news, and that the restaurant that they were at was the exact restaurant where Calvin asked her to marry him, and she doesn't. He still doesn't have a diamond for her in, but he's working on it. He says when he's working hard to get the money. Um, and Calvin and Vanessa is supporting him of that. So then she has like this big announcement that she's gonna make. and she's talking about how she was vomiting and stressing out, and she's been having tests about it. And you think she's gonna say she's pregnant. Even Calvin thought so. No, not Calvin. Even Dale thought so. And that's not the case. Even said my wife's pregnant, and like screamed it in the restaurant, and everyone in the restaurant was clapping, happy for him. But she wasn't pregnant. She got a promotion, and she's like, then what were you talking about vomiting and stress? And she's like, I was worried I wasn't gonna get the promotion. And Dale wants to have a family. He wants to finally have a kid. Um, and Vanessa isn't ready to have one yet, because she wants to focus on her career, and then in another 2 years they'll have one. So then they celebrate, and the accordion guy keeps coming up, and Dale keeps paying him money to stay away. I thought that was kind of funny. So then Calvin and Percy go to steal the diamond, and Percy just wants to go right in there with his gun and just go rob the place pretty much. But Calvin has a better idea, and I actually agree with Calvin, because you can't just go in there with no game plan. So they bring in a bag, and Percy brings in a bag that Calvin hides in, and he goes underneath where the diamond is, and it's actually a really nice diamond. It looks pretty cool. And he drills a hole in it, and he distracts one of the jewelry sellers. And she was trying to talk like she was like a rapper too, like she was gangster. I didn't like that. And he drills a, but then Calvin drills a hole in the into the box, the case that the diamonds in, and he puts it in the bag, and somebody's chihuahua went in the bag, and then the old lady's like, "Where's my chihuahua?" And it was actually inside the bag, and then they get caught. So then they call the police, and when the police say what they look like, the second that the woman says that he's black, the black guy's like, "Okay, I got it," and they just pretty much saying that he was black, just pretty much defined it, because then the other officer like, "How black was he?" So I thought that was pretty funny. So then there's this big chase scene, and they can't use the car because somebody's boot got in front of it. So they run to a grocery store where Dale and Vanessa are buying stuff, and Dale is being kind of delusional, trying to convince himself that Vanessa actually is pregnant, but Vanessa is like, "I'm not pregnant." And during this big chase scene, Calvin stuffs the diamond in Vanessa's purse, I guess to keep it safe. And then the police get the wrong guy though, because they did say the guy was black, so they pretty much attacked the first black guy, but he wasn't as black as the person described it. It was actually kind of pretty racist and funny at the same time. So then this scene, so then Calvin and Vanessa go home, and well, no, Vanessa and Dale come home, and Dale also wants to have a family. Well, no, wants to have Vanessa's father, Pops. We don't really find out his real name. Move into some sort of mental institution because he's kind of a little bit nuts. But Vanessa doesn't want to. She says she doesn't want to have him move out until he's a danger to himself or others. And she's fine. He's fine just the way he is. And she's a total kind of like daddy's girl. Because then when they came home, Vanessa was like, "Who's the best daddy?" So she kept saying it until, I don't know, it was just kind of dumb. And she tells him about the promotion, and then he says, "Well, maybe you can leave this bum then and go find another man." Well, he said something like that. And he talked about how there's no diamond for the ring yet, and how pretty much how he can't make a kid. Um, and Vanessa just kind of separates the two of them. And Calvin and Percy were listening to this because they had to go get because they took a cab to follow the car to get to the so they can get the diamond. And Percy just wants to go in there with his gun. He's like and He even says that walking. Oh, what the hell? Hold on. Will kill him if they don't have the diamond. So they need a plan. So Percy hears that they wanted to have a kid, and he sees a baby, someone's mom, strolling down with the baby. So Percy has the idea that Calvin's gonna go in there pretending to be one, and since he's so small, they're gonna buy it. And Percy is going to no and Calvin's gonna use it to go get the is gonna steal the diamond. And he takes him in like a dog basket. And he runs on the doorbell, and a dog comes up by and just pisses right on Calvin. That was hilarious. But then, so after this happens, Vanessa and Dale answer the door, and they read a note that has a lot of words misspelled because obviously Percy doesn't have good education, saying that I'm leaving my son with you. I can't take care of him anymore, and I want you to take care of him. So then then Dale even says his family must have been retarded, and then Percy gets kind of pissed about this. So then they're gonna call like child services to see what's gonna happen, and they're closed till Monday, and it's like I think Friday or Saturday, um, and and they go to like change his diaper because he smelled the dog piss, and Pops isn't buying this kid. He doesn't want him there. Um, then so then when they change his diaper, they see his balls are all hairy, and when he like cries or something, he could like had a cough that sounded like a 40-year-old smoker's cough, which was pretty cool. So then they take him to the doctor to see what's wrong with him, and they say nothing's wrong with him. We find out though they find some suspicious stuff, like he has the mouth of a 40-year-old, the teeth of a 40-year-old. He has like a tattoo, a scar, and they just think his father was pretty nuts and did all this stuff. And they're gonna have to take his temperature tonight. Now this gets important, sort of later on. It's not is that important, but later on they try to. I'm just gonna tell you now. Later on they try to take his temperature. Calvin fights it, and they stick it up his ass, and it just kills him. So then Calvin tries to get away with the purse, and as he does this, Dale and Vanessa are talking, and he thinks it's a great idea to have to keep this kid until Monday, just to show that he can be a great father. And she eventually agrees. And then she sees the kids gets away, and Calvin's about to get away, and before a police officer that was actually at the chase scene, I think his name I'm not sure, is Officer D Rex, I believe. No wait. Uh, Officer Wilson, I believe that was his name, and he hands her the kid, and well, she asks if this is his kid, and then Calvin says mommy, and they find out his name too, and Calvin calls Vanessa mommy, and she gets all cutesy about this, and is like, and then this convinces her to let him stay till Monday. So then Percy goes to walking, and they tell him he doesn't have the diamond, but they tells him that they have it, but the robbery didn't go as smoothly, and Walken gives him pretty much 24 hours to get his diamond back, and if he doesn't, his cronies, Bruno, the big one, and Russell are gonna deal with them. So yeah, they don't. That's not good for them. So then back at Calvin's side of the story, Pops is trying to have some milk and cookies and watch TV at the same time, and Calvin tries to take one of his cookies. Pops doesn't like it, and they have like some sort of conversation. And as this is and says that if I just let him have a cookie, it's gonna turn into him moving in. Pretty much referencing the fact that probably everything that happened with Dale. Um, and they're like, well, he's new. He's just a baby. All that stuff. And as they're having this conversation, Calvin is like wiping one of the cookies with his armpits and rubs it with his ass and his balls. Wipes it with his ass and rubs it against his ball. That was funny. And then when he Pops takes a bite, he's like, "Wow, this cookie has like some taste to it." So that was funny. And then a bunch of people come like Calvin and Vanessa's family. I don't know whose side of the family it's on. I don't think it said. Um, it could just be friends and neighbors or something. I don't even. It's actually not their family, and this isn't racist at all. But they weren't black, so I think they were just like some neighbors. And we meet Richard, Brittany, Greg. Greg and Brittany are married. Um, I'm just trying to remember the names. Richard, trying to remember the other girl's name. Jeanette, and there was other. I think that's about it. And they all pretty much think that this kid's ugly, which is kind of sad to say. But they don't want to say anything. They just pretty much references like he's a gift from God, but God probably was just making him quick, like stuff like that. And when they try, and Greg tries to give Calvin a high five, and he just smacks his hand really hard. And then Richard does, and Richard's kind of a wimp. Um, is like doing like I got your nose bit, and then when Calvin does it, he like snaps his nose, like he almost breaks it, but he doesn't break it. So that was funny. And then they give him like a lot of toys, and they has like a T-Rex film that's supposed to be like Boney the dinosaur, but it isn't really. Um, I think that's what it was supposed to be. So then um, Vanessa's talking to Jeanette about the promotion and all that stuff, and how Kevin wasn't happy about it. He thought she was pregnant, and they just laughed, talking about how she doesn't really want to have a kid. She just focus on becoming a job. How she's always has to have things on schedule, and she's like, I want to have a kid, just not anytime soon. But it's with Willie and Calvin, and then Brittany, who is hard as hell. Um, and Calvin thought so too. She wanted him to breastfeed her. Well, she wanted him to breastfeed him, and eventually it does happen, but it doesn't end up being Brittany. It ends up being Jeanette. And when she tries to get him breastfed, he bites her nipple. That was pretty funny, and that was really funny. That was awesome. I gotta admit that. So then everybody leaves pretty much, and Brittany kisses Calvin, and Calvin just pretty much flat out makes out with her, and he's just like, oh, he's like, he's a charmer, isn't he? And he winks at her, says, call me. That was really funny, and I don't blame him too. She, like I said, she was pretty much hot. And then she's like, and then they pretty much kind of had this awkward film, like that went well, and they just kind of like BS Calvin, saying he did really good today, kind of cockle cutesy to him, and say that if Brittany ever does anything bad to you, let us know. He's not gonna let them know. Um, and then later on, he's taking a bath, and he's also kind of attracted to Vanessa too. And Vanessa's like, "You want some company in there?" And he's like, "Yeah." But then he doesn't end up getting Vanessa. He doesn't get anything he wants really. He gets he gets Dale, and yeah, that was funny. Um, what happens next? The thermometer scene happens next, um, and then they put Calvin to sleep, and they use like that thing that they use when they pull the string down and like the animals go around in a circle, and to put Calvin to sleep. And he's like, yeah, this is really gonna put me to sleep. After you guys go to bed, I'm gonna get my diamond and get out of here. But it does put him to sleep. I mean, it was pretty predictable. It took a while for it to happen, so that scene kind of dragged on. So then Calvin uses like his blanket to sneak out of the crib, because I don't even know how they had a crib already set up. I guess I guess Dale thought that Vanessa was gonna get married, so he just went out and bought a crib. Crib, I said crib. So then Calvin grabs the bag, and he calls Percy to have him to come pick him up. But before he can even finish, Pops comes out with his gun, and he pretty much at this point he's getting suspicious about Calvin, and when he tries to like shoot him and stuff, and when he tries to talk to Percy, he pretends like he's like some foreigner, and then Dale shows up and tells him everything that happens, and Pops tells him everything that happened, but he doesn't believe him. He thinks he's just going nuts. Um, then what else happened? So next they have like a cup of milk, because he's like new to this is his first night here, and he wants to make him feel comfortable, and this is gonna put him right to sleep. And they have like a kind of an emotional moment while Vanessa's watching, and he says he tells him this is gonna be the best weekend of your life, because he wants to prove to Vanessa that they can have a kid. And after this weekend, um, he's he's gonna show Calvin what it's like to have a father, and Calvin's gonna show him what it's like to have a son. And then he says that he's gonna that he can always that he'll always be there for his son, and he can always come and talk to him about anything over a warm cup of milk. So then when she sees Vanessa, and she's just laughing, and we don't know why, and we find out that that was Jeanette's breast milk that they were drinking, and obviously they'll gross out by that. I thought that was hilarious. So why did they? I don't even know why they put it like that. I don't know. But then they put Calvin back to bed, and they were talking about all of this kid stuff, and Calvin's like, the beauty part of you not being pregnant is we get to keep trying. So they start to have sex, and Calvin can just clearly see it, but Daryl's like, oh, he doesn't know what's going on. He knew what was going on though, because they don't know he's like 40 years old. So then the next morning when they wake up, Vanessa's in like a great mood, because you know, they just like had sex. And she talked about how Dale was an animal, and then she's like, you never did it twice in one night. And then Dale's like, what? He thinks it's just weird, like twice. And then she pulls out the blanket, and we see Calvin's in there. So obviously you know that Calvin went in there and banged Vanessa. And yeah, that was pretty funny. So then what happens next? Oh, the next they're in the room. They're having like breakfast and stuff, and Calvin's forced to pretty much watch the T-Rex Boney the dinosaur thing, because you know that they think that's what he likes. So then when Pop changes it, he's pretty happy about it, and the news comes up, and they're about to talk about Calvin robbing the jewelry store. So then Calvin knows that they're gonna, you know, pretty much figure him out, that his cover is gonna be blown, and he's like, and he just wants the T-Rex back on. So Vanessa's like, so Vanessa just puts it back on. So then Pops has his breakfast, So then Calvin has like one of those little baby stand-up swing things. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And he swings himself, and every time Pops goes to read the newspaper, to eat his breakfast, and without him realizing it. So then when he realizes all his breakfast is gone, Vanessa thinks that he just ate it. So he tells him that Calvin ate it, which is true. So he's like, I'm gonna go to the diner, watch my news, and eat my breakfast in peace. So then they pretty much talk about how crazy when Dale shows up. They pretty much talk about how crazy Vanessa, no, how crazy Pops is gone, and Vanessa talks about what happened with the when he had a gun pointed to Calvin because they don't know the real reason why, and how they talk about how he ate his breakfast. So they're kind of considering putting him into that like mental institution. So then Vanessa leaves to go to work, and Dale has to feed Calvin, and they play peekaboo, and when Dale the second time does the peekaboo thing, um, Calvin hits him off the head with a frying pan, which was hilarious. Knocks out Dale, and he grabs the bat. He grabs the post, and then Vanessa just comes right back. He's like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" So then she grabs the post, and before she grabs it, Calvin plants the diamond in the diaper bag, and Vanessa sees that, and Dale's knocked out, and he thinks he's sleeping because Calvin planted him on the couch, like he was sleeping. So then so then she's trying to, like, if you want to have a kid, you can't be sleeping. Pretty much saying that, but he's just coming too. So he probably doesn't even know what's going on. So then he's wondering what happened too. Like he's like he went to play peekaboo, and then all of a sudden he was knocked out. So he has no clue what happened. So they take him to the park, and Dale has all this stuff for Calvin. They play baseball, and when Calvin hits the baseball, it hits Dale's nuts, and the same thing happens. They play with like a rocket ship that normally would go up, but you can press the button and it will go down, and then he like forces it down, and then when he presses it, it goes into Dale's balls, and then he throws like a toy airplane, and the same thing happens. So, and then when he talks to Craig and Richard, he's like, I think they created every toy that can hit you in the nuts. So then they're talking about how it's not as easy as he thought to be a parent, but he's like, I like being this dad stuff, and Craig's kind of like an aggressive parent. He feels like that kids need to kind of be aggressive. Like he's not abusive, but he's kind of hard on his son. And Richard's too like nice to treats his son way too nicely. So, and then he thinks he's being a good influence on Calvin, and we see Calvin like playing like poker with little kids, and makes him give him money. He's like, okay, next time you bring money, I'm gonna give you pictures of naked girls, and it's all the guys, and they think it's gross, obviously, because they're kids, and Calvin's not. So then Percy sees Calvin. They're gonna get the diamond, and and he tells him he put it in the diaper bag, but we see that there's a lot of diaper bags. Um, so he grabs one of them, and Jeanette thinks that Percy's trying to kidnap Calvin, so all the women beat the crap out of him. And he took the wrong diaper bag. He took Craig's. So when Craig goes to bring it to Watson, I know I'm getting it. Walken, I mean. So Walken or what? It's Walken. Um, it's not in there, and he actually touches a dirty diaper. And they were gonna kill him, but he says that the diamond's more important to him with his life, and he tells Russell and Bruno to follow him. So then what happens next? They go in the car, and Calvin's begging for the keys, and he gives him the keys, and Calvin makes off, steals the car so he can go get the diamond, and Dale thinks that someone stole the car, so he meets up with this, I guess, soccer mom, and they have like this big chase scene, and the police get involved, and Calvin's able to drive the car too because I have to explain this because he's using the baseball bat, which is actually a great idea. And the soccer mom pretty much isn't paying attention. She's talking on the cell phone, doing her makeup, and changing somebody's diaper. And she's talking about too how people don't pay attention to the world, pay attention to the kids. I thought that was hilarious. So then the cops put like these spikes down, and the car goes into it, and then it gets totaled. And Calvin goes back to and pretends to be a baby again. And they talk about how they think the criminal just got away. So then Dale sees it, and the police officer tells him that the car is totaled, and he's like, "Screw the car, as long as Calvin's okay." And he says he apologized, and he says, "I don't want." He says that he would never let anything happen to Calvin. So I thought that was kind of a nice moment right there. And then that Percy putting the diamond scene happened, and then Dale it has the kid duct taped to a steel chair because he doesn't want because he thinks this kid's kind of not crazy, but he thinks that he gets into a lot of trouble, and they're gonna go to the hockey game. At this point we know that the movie takes place in Chicago because they were rooting for the Chicago team. And I don't remember I think it's called the Blackhawks. I don't remember what the hockey team name is. I don't. Maybe it's the Seahawks. I have no idea. I don't watch hockey. Um, and Calvin sees the diamond and he puts it in his mouth, and then he chokes on it. So I guess it's all good. Um, and he drinks some guy's beer, and then the waitress comes up, and they'll buy the penalty box too in the game, and this gets important, so that's just why I'm mentioning it. And she gives them all beers, and then Calvin, the waitress actually was pretty hot too. Calvin says, "Nice ass," and she thinks Dale said it, so she bitch slaps him. Um, and Calvin actually had kept bitch slapping Percy too when he saw him. So then Calvin no the waitress calls Dale a pig, and then Calvin calls her a tramp, and then the waitress pours beer on Dale, and he has no clue why because he doesn't know what he did, and then he drinks the guy's and then Calvin again drank the guy's beer, and he thinks Dale did it. So then one of the hockey players gets put in the penalty box, and he just, for no reason, just goes off on the fans. And then Calvin throws the cup at him, and this pisses the guy off, so he uses his hockey stick to break the glass, and he thinks Dale did it. Dale just did not have any luck in this hockey game. So he tries to attack Dale. Calvin attacks him, and then the hockey player just completely lays out Calvin. He gets injured, and Dale gets worried because this guy might have could have never had a birthday ever again. And he says since he probably never had a birthday party, why not throw him one? So they do that, and they have the T-Rex guy there. That T-Rex guy was pretty annoying, actually. Not gonna lie. So he's trying to be all nice, and Calvin gets pissed off with him and mouths off to him and says, "If you sing any of those songs, I'll beat the crap out of you. These kidded songs." And then the guy in the T-Rex suit says that we should learn about manners. My mom always told me if I had good manners, I'd be president of the United States one day. And then Calvin says, "But yet now you're sitting, but yeah, but yet you're in a dinosaur costume, entertaining however you old, because I have no clue how old these kids are. I'm assuming they're in They're around 5 or 6 or something. Well, Calvin's a baby, but I don't know exactly how old. Guess Calvin would be 2. Um, and then he says, but Calvin's like, that's far away from being a president. And he's like, and then the guy takes the head off, and he's like, I'd kick your ass right now, but I need this job, pretty much, he says. So then Calvin beats the crap out of him. He goes inside the dinosaur costume, just beats the crap out of him, and pretty much all the kids just stomp on him, call him lame. I thought that was kind of funny. So then Craig gets this great... Was it Craig or Greg? Greg gets this great idea. To have a father-son football game. And they go with it. And Brittany is like the cheerleader for Greg. And she says something like putting it in. And it sounded really like a sexual reference, which I think was supposed to be the thing when she said it. So, yeah, that was really funny. So pretty much Greg is just being way too aggressive. He's just tackling everybody in sight, and I think it was supposed to be touch. And he even takes down the kids too. I think, and he tells his son, and anytime his son gets taken down, he's like, "Get up, walk it off, stop acting like a little girl." He was kind of being aggressive here. So then Calvin gets pissed, and then everyone just starts taking it to him, and they win the game, I guess. I thought that was cool. And Richard's kid actually got the win. Winning touchdown, so I thought that was funny. So then Percy shows up, and he says he's here to pick up... Well, he pretends to be Calvin's father, and he says that he's here to get... Oh, wait, before that, too, they had They did the birthday cake for Calvin. They had cake where they blow out the candles and all that. And Calvin's thinking in his head that these people are trying to make him look like a joke. And he wants to be taken serious. And he's like, I know I never had a real birthday party, so I can't get emotional. And then he makes it worse that he had a real family. So, yeah. So then Percy shows up. And when he says that he's his father, he's like, he got himself all cleaned up. Calvin gets pissed because of the way that he's been treated. Dale gets pissed because of the way he's been treating Calvin. He thinks. And he beats the crap out of him, hits him off the head with a trash can lid. And Bruno and Russell are watching this, and they think Dale's Calvin. So they think that Dale took the diamond for himself. So, yeah, that was kind of bad. So then, one of the kids gets sick, and they take some medicine that's gonna help them pretty much shit. And Calvin, and you're not supposed to take that medicine, but Calvin drinks like a crap load of it, and yeah, he pretty much flat out shits himself. And he has Vanessa, and then Calvin's like, you left a nice surprise for Mommy. And at first he just didn't want to do it, but the reason Vanessa thinks, and Vanessa even talked about too, how she's starting to like this mommy stuff, and then Jeanette says that when you look at these kids, they become like your role model. And Pops backs at the diner. I forgot to mention this. Sees the news who Calvin is, and he finally recognizes him. I'm surprised they didn't recognize his face. Actually, I'm kind of. But then he gives him a teddy bear for his birthday. Realizes that he's been too hard and he's willing to help out, become his grandfather. This gets important. Why he gave him the teddy bear. So then Vanessa finds the diamond in the diaper bag, which is not a good thing, and thinks Dale bought it for her. But Dale's trying to say that he didn't, but she's not listening. So then what happens next? They go out to eat, and Pop sees it stays with Calvin, and he's like bouncing him up and down like a little kid, and then he just throws him up, and Calvin's head hits the ceiling, and he falls on the floor, and he wants to know who he is. So then he low blows Pops and punches him in the face, and he says he didn't mean for it to go this far. He said he wanted to get Diamond, to just get the diamond, and says that if you don't give him what he wants, his family's gonna get hurt. And he just wants his diamond to be out of here. And then he calls Percy to pick him up. Um, and then they have a fight, and we don't actually see it. And then Vanessa realizes that not everything has to be a schedule. Things happen out of nowhere, and then she says that she wants to adopt Calvin Monday, which is I think the next day. And Dale's trying to tell her that he didn't get the diamond, but when she says that, he doesn't tell her. So then when they come home, they see Pops is beating up Calvin, but they still think Calvin's a baby. So they pretty much send him back to that crazy home that they were gonna send him at. And Pops is telling him he ain't what he is, and tells them to check the bail. So later on, when Calvin sees the bail, he sees that there's like a tape recorder in it, and when he looks at it, he sees the footage of when Calvin had talked about everything with Pops, and so then he calls the police, and we find out that Watkins thinks that Dale's Calvin, and he went in the business for himself, so they're going after them, and Percy tells him this, and Calvin's like Calvin's just shocked. So then he slaps Percy right out of the car. So then when there's a knock on the door, and Dale thinks it's the police, but when he answers, it's Waken, or Mr. W, you can call him, Russell and Bruno, and he asks for his diamond, and he's like, I don't have it. So then he says, well, we're going to have to beat it out of you. And then Dale's like, I just called the cops. They're going to be here soon. And Waken's like, well, that doesn't give us a lot of time then. So then we see Calvin returns. He's back in his baby form. And they see this, so then Bruno sends him to bed. And then he tells Calvin, if you hear any noise downstairs, that's just us beating up your daddy. And he has like a very deep voice too. Bruno turns out the light, and Calvin beats him with that tiny toy baseball bat. And then when he turns on the light, Calvin's back sleeping. So he does this about 2 more times. And then when he just says click and just hits him off the head with the baseball bat. And Russell and Waken are just beating the crap out of Dale. And they see that they say they're gonna beat up his kid too if he doesn't tell them what the diamond is, and then they see Bruno just fall, and they have no clue what happened. So Russell goes upstairs, and he sees Calvin, and he has that rocket ship that he used earlier, and he presses the button, and it hits Wakens in the balls, and then Calvin hits Russell off the head with a golf club. It's a toy golf club. It's not an actual golf club. So then back on Russell and Dale got away, but back and then Dale puts on like these smacking punch boxing toy gloves and beats the crap out of Waken with them. And then he grabs the gun and he can't use it because of the gloves are too big. So then Waken just grabs it and sends him back in there. So then Bruno and Russell are looking for Calvin, and he swings up, bounces their heads together, hits him in the balls, and then goes off and hits like a kick to them when they go through the table. That was cool. This was kind of like Home Alone stuff that happened, but this was cool. And then he swings at Bruno. No, he swings at Bruno's just done. He doesn't want to get up, and he swings at Russell, and he goes right into like pantry and the um, shelves fall on them. They break and fall on them. That was cool. So then when Waken and Dale come in, um, Waken gets suspicious. He's like, who else is here? So then they see that Calvin has the plane. So Waken wants Calvin to get rid of it. So he throws the plane and it hits Waken in the balls. And Calvin threatens to shoot Waken. So then the police show up, arrest him. Bruno actually said he doesn't want to go to jail. It's dark and there's no TV, and he's scared of the dog. That was funny. And then they see Calvin, and Dale. They think it's Dale's son still, and Dale knows he's not who Calvin really is, and he says, "Now do you? Now I know you have something for the nice police officer, and I know you want to give it to him, unless you want to go to prison with those nice police officers, those nice mean people." So he does it, and we find out there's like a big reward if you find it. So pretty much Dale's gonna be all set. He can get his wife his wedding ring, pay for his car, and he's gonna give Calvin a little something. So then they're gonna have like this emotional scene, but Calvin's like, let's not have any of that. Let's just shake hands like men and part ways. So then he says no hard feelings, and they go to do that, but then Dale says it was kind of cool having his son for once. So then then Calvin says, yeah, there's all that mushy stuff I wanted to avoid, but I guess it wasn't so bad having you as a father. So then Calvin's making like this big deal how he's never gonna see him again. You know, I'll be out of your life for good. And Dale doesn't really think it's that big of a deal. So then Calvin's crying. So then Dale comes out and says, "Do you want to share a glass of milk?" So then they start hugging. And then they play the song. They play this pretty good song. And then Calvin's like, enough of this girly stuff. So then Dale's like, why don't we put a little bit of liquor in that milk? He's like, forget. And then Calvin's like, forget that. Let's go to a ball. So then Dale's like, all right. And then he says, are you over 21? And Calvin's like, I think so. So I'm thinking of idea, but oh well. So then Calvin also says, I know this great strip club. And then Dale says, shh, don't say that too loud, my wife will get mad. But Vanessa wasn't even home because she went to get her father out of the Wacky Shack after they found out the diamond because, you know. So then at the end, well, the credits play, but there was one more thing that happened at the end. We see Pops, and they have the kid. And it looks it looked like hold on, I don't know why I didn't. Hold on, let me just do this. And it looked exactly like Dale, because it had like Dale's face, so that was cool. And that was the end of the movie. Overall, I thought it was a hilarious movie. It's definitely worth watching. Um, and it just I think a kid, you know, everyone could probably relate to this movie. Um, you know, I just thought it was really funny. It was just great. So definitely check it out. So I'm gonna go through the cast like I do at the end of each movie. All right. So Marlon Wayans, I think that's how you say it, plays Calvin Sims. Dale Edwards is played by Sean Waynes. Oh, they're actually like, I think they're related somehow. I don't know how, but they are. Vanessa Edwards is played by Kerry Washington. Pops is played by John Witherspoon. I actually have heard that name before. Brittany is played by Brittany Danielle. What a coincidence. Percy P is played by Tracy Morgan. Percy P has a girl's name. That's good. Greg is played by, and I don't know, I'm going to do my best to say his name. Logan Monroe, I think is how you say it. Waken's played by Chaz Plantory. I don't know how to say his name really either. The soccer mom that helped was in that Dale went in when Calvin thought that when Calvin stole the car was played by Molly Shannon. Jimmy. I actually don't remember who Jimmy is. Oh well. Was played by Dave. Oh, okay. David Allen Grier. Wasco was played by David Sharon. Richard was played by Fred Stoller. Calvin's body, because Calvin in real life doesn't have dwarfism. Um, he's is played by Lydian Perco, and then yeah, Calvin. It says Calvin's body again is played by Ken Gabe Pantella. So I wonder if at certain scenes, they switch actors for Calvin's body. Jeanette's played by Alex Borstein. The Julia that was talking like she was like a gangster when that Percy talked to was played by Kelly Caulfield Polk. Officer Wilson, I think that's the police officer you see the most in here, is played by Damian Dante Waynes. So they're all related. Um, Malone, Sean, and Damien are all related. And that's really it. Um, and I like the way they utilize the editing software, I guess, for probably the way they use Calvin. So I thought that was cool. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. I will be back tomorrow to give you another movie review. And that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.